Welcome to my videos. In this time, I'm going to talk about the NFL the 2023 season, the week 4, the games, the scores. Where again we have another tremendous and amazing week where we had very good games. We got a very close game again, like the last 2 weeks, and we have the first national game, two games that were sent to overtime. So I'm going to talk about a little about this. The first game, the Lions defeated as a waiting 34-20 to get its first his third win of the season and win this divisional game. The Detroit Lions were the best team in the game. They defined the game in the first half where they were leading the game 23-3 and the game was over in the halftime. In the second half, the Detroit Lions relaxed a lot this game, where Green Bay Packers took advantage of that, where they scored 8 points in the third quarter. And the Detroit Lions didn't score any point, and they reduced the game. And in starting the last quarter, the Green Bay Packers scored another touchdown and reduced the game to one possession game. But after that, the Detroit Lions improved this game, his offense game, especially, and scored another touchdown, and they won the game 34-20. And now the Detroit Lions are the only team in the NFC North Division that they are leading with record 3-1 in the Green Bay Packers have a record of 2-2. And starting the Sunday, this game started in the 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. This game was played in London, England. The Jaguars defeated 33-7 the Atlanta Falcons. This game was played in the Wembley Stadium. The Jacksonville Jaguars was the best team in this game. They didn't have any rival with the Atlanta Falcons because the Jacksonville Jaguars, like the Thursday night football game, defied the game in the first half where they took a lead of 17-0 in the halftime. In the third quarter, the Atlanta Falcons improved his game, and the Jacksonville Jaguars relaxed a little his game. So this proved okay. The Atlanta Falcons scored his first touchdown, but in the last quarter, the Jacksonville Jaguars scored 2 field goals. That was enough to win the game 23-7 and won his second game of the season. Now, the Jacksonville Jaguars will stay 1 week in England because they will play the next Sunday against the Buffalo Bills. But this time will change the scenario. This game will play in London like this game, but this game will be playing in the Tottenham Stadium. And the Atlanta Falcons will come back to USA, and they will have a bye week. And the games that started in the 1 p.m. The first game, the Los Angeles Rams defeated 29-23 the Indianapolis Colts in Indianapolis. This game can be defined in two halves. The first half, the Los Angeles Rams dominate this game where they have a lead of 20-0 in the halftime. In the third quarter, they score first a field goal and they have a 33-0 with more than 8 minutes to play in the third quarter. In that moment, I thought that the game was over and that the Los Angeles Rams were going to win this game. But after that, the Indianapolis Colts played a tremendous second half where they scored 33 points and tie the game and send the game to the overtime. And in that moment, I thought that the Indianapolis Colts were going to win this game because remember that they overcome that score and they tied the game, and I thought that they were going to win that game in overtime, but not. The Los Angeles Rams played a tremendous defense in the overtime and had a very good series where they have a 75 touchdown drive and they scored a touchdown that was enough to win the game 29-33, and now the Los Angeles Rams won his second game of the season. Another game, the Baltimore Ravens defeated 28-3 the Cleveland Browns in Cleveland. This was another divisional game. The only team that played and presented in this game were the Baltimore Ravens because the Cleveland Browns played a very very bad game in two sides of the ball. And here was a very important note that the Sean Watson, the Cleveland Browns quarterback, didn't play this game because he was injured, and this was one of the reasons that the Cleveland Browns lost the game. the Baltimore Ravens they find the game in the first half where they have a lead of 21-3 and they were leading the game 21-3. In the second half, they have the game dominated and they score another touchdown in the last quarter and to close the game 28-3. And with this, the Baltimore Ravens are the team that is leading the AFC North with the record 2-1, and the Cleveland Browns lost his second game of the season. And another game, game no two teams that were winless. The Minnesota Vikings they defeated 21-13 Carolina Panthers in North Carolina. This game was was very close, but in the end, in the first half, the Minnesota Vikings were leading the game by 6 points, 13-7. But the big difference was in the third quarter and in the second half, where the Minnesota Vikings scored two touchdowns, 40 points, and this was the difference to win the game, 21-13, and got his first win of the season. And the Carolina Panthers are still winless. They got its four loss of the season. In another game, the Tennessee Titans defeated 27-3 the Cincinnati Bengals in Tennessee. This game was the big difference here in this game was the second quarter, because in the second quarter the Tennessee Titans scored 21 points, and this was the difference to win the game, because in the end of the first quarter each team scored 3 points, but in the second quarter the Tennessee Titans scored 21 points, 3 touchdowns, and this was the difference to win the game. To win the game. In the first half, in the halftime, the Tennessee Titans were leading the game 24-3, and that was enough to win the game. In the second half, the Tennessee Titans scored a field goal in the third quarter, and this was enough, and that was the only score of the second half. And with that, the Tennessee Titans won the game 27-3. After 4 games of games, and that the first month of the season is over, the September, the Cincinnati Bengals are my disappointed team, because I didn't expect that they played a very bad. I know that Joe Burrow is injured and he's not played a very good game. He can move a lot, but come on, the Cincinnati Bengals have been playing a very bad football in both sides of the ball. And with this, the Tennessee Titans won his second game of the season, and the Bengals got his third loss of the season. In another divisional game, the Buccaneers defeated as a away team 26-9 the New Orleans Saints. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers were better team than New Orleans in all the game. Even that the New Orleans were leading the game 3-0 in the halftime, but in the second half, the Buccaneers scored 2 touchdowns, and they were leading the game 14-3. In the third quarter, the New Orleans Saints play a little better than the Buccaneers, but they just could score a field goal, and they reduced the game to a one touchdown, to a one possession, 8 point. But in the fourth quarter, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers scored 12 points to increase the leading, and with that, they won the game 26-9 and took the lead of the NFC South, where they have a record of 3-1, and New Orleans failed to a record of 2-2. In another divisional game, the Buffalo Bills defeated 48-20 Miami Dolphins, and sent a message that in this moment the Buffalo Bills are the best team in the AFC and one of the best teams in the NFL. Remember that in the last week the Miami Dolphins scored 70 points and humiliated the Denver Broncos. But and although people they say, oh, the Miami Dolphins are the best team in the NFL, and to be honest, I didn't buy this, because I knew that Miami Dolphins always in the last year always start very good the NFL in the first month, but after October the Miami Dolphins don't play a very good football. In this game, the Buffalo Bills were played a tremendous game, especially in offense and in defense. Where in the first half they were leading the game 31-14, and in that moment the game was over, because the Miami Dolphins couldn't stop the Buffalo Bills offense. In the second quarter, the Buffalo Bills scored another 70 points, and the Miami Dolphins used 6. And now the Buffalo Bills won 48-20 and humiliate now the Miami Dolphins. What ironic. With this victory, the Buffalo Bills took the lead of the AFC East, and they have the same record 3-1, but because they won this game, the Buffalo Bills have the lead, they have the first place of this division. And another game, the two worst team in the league, the Chicago Bears lost 28-31 against the Denver Nuggets. To be honest, this was the best game of the day because it was very exciting, and the Broncos got its first victory of the season, and the Chicago Bears lost his fourth game of the season. The Chicago Bears were playing at a very great football in the first half, where they have a lead of 21-7, and in the third quarter they were leading the game 28-7. Yes, 28-7. Three touchdown difference, 21 points. But after that, the Chicago Bears couldn't score any touchdown, and the Denver Broncos scored 24 points without any answer. And the Denver Broncos won the game in the last play of with a field goal. They won the game 31-28, and with that, the Denver Broncos got its first victory of the season. And another divisional game, and that was sent to overtime. The Philadelphia Eagles defeated 34-31 Washington Commanders. The Philadelphia Eagles battled a lot in this game because the Washington Commanders played a tremendous game, but this wasn't enough to win the game. In the first half, the Washington Commanders were leading the game 70-10. In the third quarter, the Philadelphia Eagles took the lead of 21-10, and I thought that the game was over because they have the leading in the fourth quarter, but the Washington Commanders could tie the game and send the game to overtime. In the overtime, again, the Philadelphia Eagles battled a lot, but they could get the victory. They scored a field goal in the overtime, and that was enough to win the game 34-31 and continue invictus. The Philadelphia Eagles and the Washington Commanders got its second loss of the season. Well, I don't want to talk about this game. The Houston Texans won and humiliated the Pittsburgh Steelers 36. To be honest, the Pittsburgh Steelers didn't present to this game that the Houston Texans were a better team than the Steelers, where this game was defined in the halftime, where the Houston Texans had a lead of 60-0, but to be honest, the Houston Texans could have been leading this game for 20 or more points. Both teams didn't play, especially the defense. The offense, we know that the Steelers offense doesn't play a very good football, but when the defense doesn't play a very good football is when the team battle. In the second half, the Steelers scored 6 points in the third quarter, where they were in the red zone, but they couldn't score a touchdown, and they used to score a field goal. And in the fourth quarter, the Houston Texans scored another 40 points. That was enough to win the game 36, and the Steelers got its second loss of the season, and the Houston got its second win of the season. If you want to know more about this game, you can click in the link that comes in this score. And the games that started in the second shift, the Los Angeles Chargers defeated 24-17 Las Vegas Raiders. This is a typical Los Angeles Chargers game. They were leading the game 24-7 in the first half. They play a tremendous first half, but in the second half, the Los Angeles Chargers didn't score any points, and allowed that Las Vegas Raiders score 10 points. They reduced the game to just one possession game, but because the Los Angeles Raiders are worse team than Los Angeles Chargers, they couldn't tie the game, and that was enough to the Los Angeles Chargers won the game 24-17 and got his second win of the season, and Las Vegas lost its third game of the season. In another divisional game, San Francisco 49ers defeated 35-16 the Arizona Cardinals. To be honest, I thought that this game was going to be easier to the San Francisco 49ers, but the Arizona Cardinals played a tremendous game. I thought that the San Francisco were going to humiliate the Cardinals, but not. In the first half, the San Francisco 49ers were leading the game 21-10. But in the third quarter, the Arizona Cardinals scored two field goals. They reduced the game to a 5-point difference, 21-16. And I thought that the Cardinals were going to send the game to overtime or to win this game. But in the last quarter, the San Francisco 49ers improved its game. They scored two touchdowns. That was enough to win the game 35-16. And the San Francisco 49ers are the third team that haven't lost a game in this season. And another game, this was a humiliating game. The Dallas Cowboys have a DC game. They humiliate the New England Patriots and defeated 38-3 to Patriots. The Dallas Cowboys was the only team that was present in this game because the New England Patriots played a very, very bad game. The Dallas Cowboys defined this game in the first half, where they scored 28 points, and the New England Patriots just scored 3 points, and the Dallas Cowboys were leading the game by 21-point difference. In the third quarter, how I tell you, in the second half, the game was defined. The Dallas Cowboys scored another 10 points, and the New England Patriots didn't score any point, and the Dallas Cowboys won the game 38-3. To be honest, I think that Bill Belichick is in problem because he hasn't the New England Patriots aren't play a very good football, and maybe he can be fired in the end of this season. And the Dallas Cowboys got his third victory of the season. And in the Sunday Night Football, the Kansas City Chiefs defeated 23-20 New York Jets. The Kansas City Chiefs didn't play a very good game, to be honest. The New York Jets played a tremendous game, especially Zach Taylor, but it wasn't enough to win the game. To win the game. In the first quarter, the Kansas City Chiefs were leading the game 70-0, and I thought that the game was not to be over because I thought that the Kansas City Chiefs were going to win this game by 20 or more point difference. But since the second quarter, from the second quarter to the last quarter, New York Jets play a tremendous football. Where in the second quarter they scored 12 points, and the Kansas City used 3, and the Kansas City were leading the game by 20-12. In the third quarter, the New York Jets scored 8 points and they tied the game, but they had the opportunity to win this game, but they couldn't score more points because they have some problems. They have some interception and some fumble, and the Kansas City Chiefs took advantage of that where they scored just a field goal in the end of the last quarter, and that was enough to win the game 23-20. I know that there was some mistakes of the referees because some penalties, but we need to see here a very important. The Jets played a very good, great game, but they didn't take advantage of the Chiefs' heroes. And if you don't take up advantage for the Chiefs' heroes or the rivals' heroes, you are not going to win this game. And what happened with the Chiefs? They aren't playing a very good football since this season, but they have 3 wins. They know how to win, and this is very important. And with this victory, the Chiefs had a record of 3-1, and the New York Jets have a record of 1-3. And the Monday Night Football yesterday, again, there's just one team in the stadium where the Seattle Seahawks defeated as a away team 24-3 the New York Giants. To be honest, the Seattle Seahawks have an easy game, where in the halftime they were leading the game 43. In the second half, they scored 10 points, and they won this game 24-3. The New York Giants played a very, very bad game, and to be honest, the New York Giants are one of the worst team in this season. And the Seattle Seahawks have a record of 3-1, and the New York Giants have a record of 1-3. And how are the standings? after 4 weeks. In the AFC, first in the AFC East, the Bills are leading this division with 3-1. The second place are the Dolphins 3-1, and in the last place are the Patriots and Jets with record 1-3. In the West Division, the Chiefs are leading this division with record 3-1. The Jaguars are in the second place with record 2-2, and the Raiders and Broncos are tied in the last place with 1-3 record. In the AFC North, the Ravens are leading this division. The Steelers and Browns are sharing the second place, and the Bengals are the last team. And the AFC South, all the teams are tied. This is a very open division after 4 weeks. And in the NFC conference, in the East, the Eagles don't have any losses. They have a perfect record for 4-0. The Cowboys have a 3-1 record, the second place. The Washington are the third place with record 2-2, and the Giants are the worst team with record 1-1. In the West, the 49ers have a perfect record 4-0. The Seattle Seahawks are the second best team with record 3-1. The Rams will record 2-2, and the last team are the Cardinals 1-3. But it looks like that this will be the best division in the NFL. In the North, the Lions are leading this division. The Packers are the second place. The Vikings are the third place, and the Bears are winless. And the last division in the South, the Buccaneers are leading this division with record 3-1. Falcons and Saints are tied in the second place, and the Panthers are winless. So we can see we have two teams that have a perfect record, the Eagles and the 49ers, and two teams that are winless, the Bears and the Panthers. So here was my opinion about what happened in the Week 4 of NFL 2023 season. See you next video. Gibran.